Hey guys, what's going on? This is whoa, wait a second. Just wanted to say we hit Challenger as of now, and I couldn't have done it with all my fans. Thank you all. But finally, we're gonna be doing a little video on the top 5 best junglers as of patch 6.3. Last time we did this was in patch 6.1, so it's been a little while. And yeah, it's just gonna be a little update on the best junglers, as there hasn't been too much changes. But yeah, with all that being said, let's get started.
Go select.
Alrighty, so at number 5 is gonna be Gragas. So Gragas is, I'd say he's pretty good in my opinion. I definitely can see him being an LCS sometime in the future. You know, with the buffs he received this patch, his slow going from a 1.3 second slow to 2 second, and AoE clears with W, and now he's building Runic Echoes. And I can see the power in his early game. It's so fucking strong, and a lot of other players are actually using him. But I'm actually too afraid to put him a little bit more higher until I see a little bit more of him. I also do feel like there are better champions than Gragas at the moment too, and he's not super OP, he's just a good champion right now. In lower elos though, I do feel like he is, well, he's kind of hard to play in a sense where he's kind of skill shot reliant, and you gotta know how to use his barrels properly. Next up on the list is gonna be Graves. So Graves right now in this patch, he got a nerf to his Q, where the second part of his Q's base damage went down by about 65 damage at max rank. Early game you probably won't see too much of a difference, but definitely his Q is one of his high impacting attacks, and now his clears aren't, well, one-shottable. You can definitely feel the nerf in his Q damage, but they also nerf Graves in general, where Graves can no longer interrupt the recoil with his auto attacks with abilities, and now he feels extremely clunky. Every time I auto attack and try and use Q or another ability, I just get interrupted because of that recoil, and I just have to constantly spam Q until it works, or I have to get used to it. Either way, I just don't like the feel of him anymore, and I feel like maybe if they reverted that nerf, he'd be super OP with the base damage even going down on his Q, because I just feel so annoyed when I have to play him now. And they also give him a little nerf where he can't stun the Scuttle Crab anymore, so no more fast scuttles for him. And honestly, I do feel like he's still good, but I don't feel like he's that OP or ban worthy anymore. Or maybe he might just be a top laner and not a jungler. But either way, somewhere in the near future you might see him out of the tier list, and maybe an honorable mention at most. Next up we have Elise. So in 6.2, she was nerfed, and a little bit of her base damage and base movement speed. To be more specific, her base movement speed went down by 5 on each form, and Volatile's base damage went down by 15. The thing is though, I do feel like she's a very powerful jungler. Not a lot of people know about the solo Rift Herald at level 6 trick, and it's a very powerful trick. So if people start realizing that, you can do this trick as I did in one of my videos, then I feel like she might be super ban worthy. Although it can be a somewhat risky trick because you can get caught off guard when you are doing the Rift Herald and you can be set back. But if you can get the Rift Herald and get that buff and get that global gold, you can have an insane amount of map pressure as you get a lot of movement speed, and if you get a kill in a lane, you can definitely take down the tower super fast right after. So Elise, with the ability to solo the Rift Herald at level 6, in my opinion makes her a very strong jungler and one of the top junglers. Maybe even still number 2. But at number 2 is gonna be Nidalee. So if you've ever faced a really good Nidalee, you will know that she will carry the early game and apply a fuck ton of pressure. Like whenever she's 1-in-1, she'll be level 11 and another jungler will be level 10 or even level 9. Her clears are just always so good, especially after level 6, and she just has insane mobility around the map. But the thing is, she's kinda like Lee Sin. You gotta be good at her, or else you suck at her. Myself, I'm an average Nidalee player. I understand how to play her and her mechanics and all that stuff, but the thing is, I'm only average with her. I'm not Excelsior with her, I'm just mediocre. So this is one of the reasons I don't play her. But if you see Nidalee mains, you see good Nidalee players, you'll know that they're very strong in solo queue, and their carry potential is super high. And they also know all the tricks to her. There's some tricks you gotta do in the first jungle clear. Starting W, you also have to know the Cougar tricks, as there's some weird Cougar tricks with her. And yeah, just a very high skill cap champion. And basically kinda like Lee Sin, although she's a better version of Lee Sin. So yeah, don't play her unless you're better at her than an average player. And finally, number 1 is going to be AP Udyr, or well, Runic Echoes Udyr. So it's really strong with him because, well, I explained it already in another video, but TLDR, movement speed coming from Runic Echoes, there's basically a lot of synergy with that item, and he's got really good synergy with the new masteries. Also, a lot of resist items are really good, so in that sense, he's really good too, because he likes the resist, right? But yeah, Runic Echoes is so strong that even Udyr is using it, and he just farms like crazy, goes split pushing, chases down people in team fights and just does a lot of damage. The only thing he somewhat lacks is early game pressure, but he makes up for it with his great mid game and late game. Although super late game he gets kind of outscaled and is easily kited. But yeah, if anything, he's probably the best jungler in every elo, even low elo and high elo. In champion select, you have to first pick him or you ban him. If there's a champion select where no one picks Udyr, that's really fucking insane. And, well, shouldn't happen. Alright, so next up we're going to be doing some auto mentions, and first up is going to be Rek'Sai. She's still good, although a lot of people are picking, you know, the top 5 best junglers, so she's kind of falling out of flavor in that sense, but still viable. And next up is going to be Kindred. Although she has been nerfed a lot in the recent patches, she's still a really good jungler. Great early game pressure, good clears, and she's got great utility and base damage. She's just kind of good right now because she's been nerfed so much. Before she used to be like really good, but you know, now she's just good, not great. And finally, a jungler that I enjoy more than Kindred because I have a fetish for birds, Quinn. Man, this bitch for top lane is pretty funny when she's facing Graves because they're like equal top laners in the sense where they're both really niche picks for that lane. But for the jungle, I do like her a lot because her ultimate allows her to have so much mobility and catch people out and has great base damage. But the reason why she's just really strong right now is because of that annoying blind. It's like what, 7 seconds for a 2-second blind? It's really annoying. But yeah, she's a very niche pick for me. I don't know about other junglers, but for me, I really like her a lot and I prefer her over most junglers. She's also got really good synergy with Sterak's Gage, by the way, because most of her abilities do scale with base damage and not bonus AD. Now we're going to be doing a little segment where you guys asked a bunch of questions in my last jungle tier list, and Ban Apaya asks, how about Warwick? Well, he doesn't offer any early game pressure until he's level 6, and he's just easy to play around. Next up, Alex Young asks Pants opinion on Nocturne. He's 8, but I don't think he's that great, because he's a level 6 jungler. Even with Duskblade, I don't think he's that great. Next up, Madonna Dog asks, isn't Jax kinda strong right now? Well, to simply put it, he's easily explodable. He's really good in like level 16 and over that, and he's also good at like skirmishes, but in team fights, it's pretty easy to explode him, and he just needs a bunch of items to be useful. So I don't think he's too great personally, but he can definitely stomp lower elo. Now, you're all probably wondering about Xin Zhao and the buffs he received this patch. I definitely do think it's a buff overall, but he's only good in lower elo just because in higher elo, it's really easy to kite him, burst him in team fights, catch him with his pants down in early game because he has no escapes. But in lower elo, it's very chaotic, so he likes skirmishes, I guess, and can definitely destroy people. And yeah, that is it for this tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a comment below on what champion you feel is strong so we can discuss it in the next video. And if you did like this video, make sure to leave a like, and if you didn't, leave a dislike. And subscribe for future videos like this, and I am Panzer Dragon, and I'll see you guys next time.
Show